I don't get it.
And that's highly unlikely, in my opinion. More likely, you're gonna end up in like platinum into diamond. Then at that point, you need to start trying to get good at the game. Well, what happens to girls? Well,
It's
girls
already
tend to
max
prefer...
volume.
Oh. Good.
Jesus.
More likely, you're gonna end up in like platinum into diamond. Then at that point, you need to start trying to get good at the game. Well, what happens to girls? Well, girls tend to prefer... Oh.
What are you doing?
If I had a real weapon. Surprise, I'm back.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck
Thanks,
do you mean,
Riot.
Jesus Christ?
Into diamond. Then at that point, you need...
Okay, back up.
Oh.
I just gotta point out that him walking to lane and then standing right here and not doing anything, right? Like, it's okay, but then the fact that he doesn't entertain this, and I feel like this is a common brush play that like a few champions can do, right? We're looking at like Jace. Obviously, Cassiopeia can definitely do this. Ryze can do this as well in certain matchups, etc. Now, the thing that's interesting here is that if the Cassiopeia weaves in an auto attack, the lane will push into him. Because these minions will stop to auto attack Cassiopeia. She'll re-break the aggro inside of the brush. But even still, like, the damage is done. These minions will have stopped attacking, and the lane will come into Jax, which is what Jax wants. And this is another primary reason that Jax wants Fresh Blood, is because he should not assume that he should be able to kill Cass. That's just a dynamic of the matchup. Until he gets like Hex Drinker, he gets Mercury Treads, etc. You know, maybe he gets some jungler assistance. His job is not to try to brute force his way into a one-on-one win. Okay, so he gets hit by the Twin Fangs, and then let's go into the mind of Hashinshin here. Which, by the way, it's not very deep.
If I had a real... Surprise, I'm back.
Jesus Christ. Thanks, Riot.
For what?
It's on.
Okay. Stay in range of XP.
Beats bruisers 1v1.
She's not a mage. Or not a traditional mage.
Bring it on.
That'd be about when I'd take a good hard look at the game.
Okay. If Cassiopeia did this, like we already talked about this wave would come into his turret, and then Cass isn't beating him. Like she has control, she has push, she has initiative. Okay, that's part of the matchup.
If I had a real weapon.
It makes absolutely no sense, like, what this guy is saying. I can't even, like... He's, like... I don't even... He's the type of person to... God, it's so disgusting. It really is.
Jesus Christ. Thanks, Riot.
Like, it's not even that bad for him right now. She expended a lot of mana. She doesn't have Duron's Ring. As long as he just, like, waits for the wave and he goes, like, 40% in CS, he can still recover with the assistance of his jungler.
When a mage beats bruisers 1v1.
Bring it on.
He probably could have gotten this CS, but instead, you know, he's off jerking himself off and typing.
That'd be about when I'd take a good hard look at the game.
How can you play this game every day for like 2,000, you know, there are thousands and thousands of games how can you be at a computer like 16 hours a day and then your words per minute is like fucking his IQ? I don't even understand that. That to me is also an enigma.
Just walked up behind me.
No, he didn't walk up behind you. Fucking jackass. Let's take another look at actually what happened. This is like in a court system when like a girl's like lying on the stand or like a guy's lying on the stand. All right, let's see Cassiopeia walk up behind him. Now, right now she's still in front of him. Okay.
Oh.
You put her behind you. Okay. Okay. All right. Jax is like saying like, imagine if I had a real something. Imagine if Jax had a real fucking human playing him. Yeah, surprised, because she probably was surprised at the trade choice that you just took.
That'd be about when I'd take a good hard look at the game. I mean, there was nothing I could do.
Yeah, there was nothing you could do. Definitely impossible for you to just click back, but you're right, there's nothing you could do.
Literally just walked up behind me and melee'd me to death.
Alright. Yeah, because, you know, your health as a resource is definitely more important than getting the few CS anyway, when we already know that you're teleporting after this wave regardless. But, you know, let's let the Cassiopeia that definitely has no lethal capability on you right now not just hit you one extra time in favor of you getting the CS. That would definitely be a tragic scenario.
I could beat him in melee.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Alright, recall. Well, should have been looking to recall. You should anticipate getting hit by the pool, like, because she's already level 3. And this is, I mean, the Cass isn't even playing this as well as she could. She could have been more up because she had these 3 minions inside of the turret, so could have been dancing on the edge. Like, this isn't ideal. She should actually just be further down. Especially because of the game timer right now. Like, if Lee Sin didn't already show up, and even if he did, it's all too good with her lane. So, like, the cast isn't really playing as optimally as she could be, and yet he doesn't anticipate the pool. He should basically be looking to just stand right here, get this minion. If he dodges the pool, then he can stay and he can get the last 2 minions, wait for this to crash into the wave, and then depending on, like, what his jungler does, maybe he can stay for this. Alternatively, he just backs up and teleports back into the lane.
Okay.
Lee shouldn't E or Q here.
Being overpowered?
That's Cash's niche, being overpowered. Why did you... The lane's pushing into him anyway, Hashinshin. Let me explain to you why that's happening. It's mostly because of your minions and the proximity to their reinforcements relative to your turret and the positioning in the lane. So, your lane's already pushing into her, and now you did extra damage to a minion, so you're speeding up the process at which it pushes in. So now it's going to end up occurring at a pretty awkward timing where you have to crash the wave, and you already know that your jungler doesn't want to ideally come back top to help you. So rather than pulling up this wave, and the next wave before the crash so that she doesn't have the luxury of just trading into you, unless she's just going to cast spell casts, you just go for it immediately.
Let me at him.
Why is he typing a novel? I fucking hate people like this.
Okay.
I think he could have killed her. Oh no. Well, like, alright, so to some people it might look like he could kill her here, but realistically if he wasn't typing and he just kept moving, the trade would have already ended. But the problem is with the trade ending, you see how many spellcaster minions he has? This means that the wave actually just pushes into cast, like, regardless, and Hashinshin's never going to get CS. So this is actually a point where NA junglers end up being really, really obnoxious, and they don't understand aspects like this. Yes, Hashinshin ruined the lane. Yes, he solo lost the lane. Yes, he's doing a ton of things wrong. It doesn't mean that Lee Sin shouldn't do the correct play in order to help out the state of the lane.
Okay.
Whose fault's that? Forcing the opposing team to take... Huh? Forcing the opposing team to take lane picks to counter her. I don't know where he gets the notion that counter picks like exist in the sense that he's trying to proclaim. They exist in a sense that, yes, you can't fight them straight up 1v1. It's extremely difficult to manage to secure a kill for yourself. Very difficult to poke them down or, you know, have like a 50-50 fight. But, you know, you can fight in the lane, you can keep up in CS, you can itemize, and then the mid part of the game breaks out, or the later stages of the game breaks out, and then the champion is allowed to flourish. So Cassiopeia is going to beat Jax. Of course she will. That's expected that she should beat him. But Jax should be able to offer different types of stuff to his team. And I mean, the way that he's playing out the lane just shows that he's unwilling to take Jax and play how Jax needs to play in order to win this matchup. Hashinshin just wants to take Jax, and he wants to play Jax the way that Jax is able to be played 70 or 80% of the time, which is an aggressive, thoughtless champion that takes very generic combo-based trades and sustained trades, etc. In this matchup, Jax does not have the luxury of being able to do that against this champion. So Jax's job is to find ways to CS underneath turret, take advantageous trades using his leap and his counter-strike and whatever, and then wait and try to manipulate the lane so that his jungler is going to have a favorable gank. There's a lot of matchups like this in League of Legends, a champion that is very known for having to take a beating and then skew the lane in their favor in order to manipulate it to a state where they can trade positively, or they can have their jungler gank for them. You know, in a very good lane position is Kassadin. Kassadin's another champion that's like that.
Yeah, alright then. Okay.
The fact that this Lee doesn't Q at point blank range first and instead uses E is a little bit concerning. So you Q at point blank range, then you auto and you E, and then they flash away and you re-Q. That's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah,
but
alright then.
I don't know who the Lee is.
Literally just turret.
And then rather than getting magic resistance, wait, can he even afford magic resistance? No, he can't. That's actually a little bit tragic. Rather than getting like a ruby crystal or something like that, he just gets a longsword.
Literally just turret diving me.
I don't know if Hashinshin understands the Mal's versus Cassio matchup enough to talk about it. Actually, I think Hashinshin should probably refrain from talking about matchups in general, as evidently even a champion that he has thousands of games on, he still doesn't comprehend exactly how to play it in this particular matchup or matchups that are going to be similar. So I think that we can just assume that anything he talks about that goes beyond the surface, he doesn't really understand. He's literally... How is this not bannable? In a way. Well, I guess missing C. I mean, he's intentionally not playing and just...
Yeah, I'm not sure there's much I can do. This is pretty fucking stupid.
What do you mean it's stupid? The lane's coming into you! Why wouldn't you want the lane to come into you? Alright, so Twisted Fate's gonna be 6 in about the next, he's gonna be 6 in a few minutes. And when he's 6, Hashinshin does not want the lane to be pushed up, he doesn't want the lane in the middle. He doesn't want the lane to be right here either. So he doesn't want it in any of like these areas, these lines. This lane is coming into him. And instead of letting that occur naturally, he instead immediately starts pushing. And he might be doing this because, again, his unwillingness to lose a few CS, wait for the wave to be underneath turret. Yes, he's going to get bullied, but that's something he basically has to accept. Like, I don't know.
And you wonder why I call live design incompetent morons.
Bring it on.
Good. She dead? Yeah, she's dead. He did not need to flash. She's dead. Now, because she's dead and TF doesn't have he doesn't have his ult available to him, we could go back with Lee Sin and shove the wave, and then we could shove another wave. I don't think she has teleport. Although I'm not actually, I'm talking so much, I'm not really paying attention all that much. So we could go back with, like, okay, so right here, like once he leaps away, he shouldn't continue to run anymore. He should just stay right here. Like, he should, you know, like, stay in this vicinity. You see where Lee Sin is. Go back with Lee Sin. And then you see the wave that's passing right here. That means there's a wave right here. So go back with Lee Sin and shove out the wave while she's dead. Why wouldn't you get a null magic mantle?
Why can cast E without Q? Why does both E and Q have max base damage?
Bring it on.
Why can Cass walk up to Jax and kill him?
Because Jax doesn't back up. Like, I don't understand. What is... Hello? What is he talking about right now? Why is a champion able to kill another champion? Huh.
Level 1 in melee.
No, look, there's a difference between being tilted and then saying stuff out of tilt and just saying things that will never be able to be defended. You can never actually defend the things that he is saying. Ever. Like, Hashinshin is probably one of the few people in the United States that could actually use an insanity plea and have it be successful in a court of law. Just let that sink in for a second.
What counterplay is there?
Farming.
Let me at 'em.
Scaling.
Why do you get boots for free? Why can you do that much damage without any damage items?
Because she has good base ratios and a combo component inside of her kit.
Surprise.
Now, this is part of the lane, by the way. This is just actually part of the lane. Like, Cass is actually messing up quite a lot right here, and he's getting stuff that he shouldn't be allowed to get. This is okay. This is what Jax should have been doing the entire time. Now, if he had a null magic mantle, some of these blows are softened, and he's able to sustain and last a little bit longer. And if Cassiopeia is constantly playing like this, it enables roams from the mid laner and enables the jungler to try to do stuff. Then obviously, Cassiopeia's jungler can try to read it accordingly and then do a match or a counter gank, but like, it's just how the lane has to play out. $2K gold lead? What? What do you mean, okay, dude? Like, the player's not even good. It's like he doesn't play around what the opponent can do. Hashinshin only thinks about what Jax can do and what he wants to do. Never in his formula or his understanding or thought process, whatever, does he ever entertain what the opponent can do. You know what I mean? Hashinshin's the guy with a baseball bat that's staring at someone that has a gun, and he doesn't think that the person will pull the trigger on the gun if he swings the baseball bat at him. And then, when the person does, pull the trigger on the baseball bat, even though he saw the baseball, or, even though the guy pulls the trigger on the gun, even though he saw the gun, Hashinshin complains and says, why do you have a gun? Or why did you pull the trigger? Like, what are you talking about? How can you cry about something that you saw?
Okay.
The gun is overpowered. Wait. When Hashinshin starts this trade, okay, he's at 450 HP. Alright? Cassiopeia is at 764. Hello? Hold on, let's check that one more time. Hold on. So he goes from 454, and Cass is at what? Cass was at like 700, what, 704? Roughly? Wait. Okay, Cass is at 837. So he was at 454 to Cass's 837. Alright? So just remember these two numbers. When the trade finishes, okay, the trade hasn't concluded yet. Cassiopeia is at 445. He just did 400 damage in like the blink of an eye. He did like 400 damage to Cass. Okay? Cassiopeia has yet to do, she's done 120 to him currently. And then she landed her ultimate. She landed the stun, a skill shot. Now she gets to punish him for landing her skill shot. They did the same amount of damage. He could have won the fight. Yes, Dakar in chat is actually correct. He could have outplayed Cassiopeia here. He could have actually done more damage than Cass could have. Where's the Hashinshin's items? He has a longsword. Great. She has nap tone. She had more HP. She almost had double his HP. And she could have lost the fight. Hello? Hello?
Okay.
Did 400 damage and could have done 800 plus. Enemy did 400 damage. 450 damage. That's good. He was 50% dead, by the way.
Can you follow that?
Why are you at 450 MS without any boots? Well, because she gets an activation. Or she gets an enhancement to her movement speed when she procs an ability. But, you know. It's like saying, like, why does Zillion get speed for using an ability? You know, why does Jin get MS after doing the crit, and Warlords give MS and all this other stuff? And he buys 2 daggers, not a Hex Drinker. He's not trying to go into Hex Drinker, not trying to go into MR. Just no thought process here.
Let me at him.
Literally.
I do believe that nowadays, you're declared dead when there's no brain activity detected. So he better hope that he never ends up in a hospital, because even if he's still alive, they might actually declare him dead.
It's on.
An ally has been slain.
Apparently I might be wrong on this though. Why is he just typing? Shove the wave, dude. Wait a minute, hold on.
Enemy double kill.
No.
You start with Leap Strike. You start with Leap Strike. In all directions. Never on cooldown.
This guy does not get that
Wait,
he's
Leap
not
Strike
supposed to be
makes
able to
me
fight her
strong,
face up.
But being ranged and being able to sit at range and kill me at
Has
range.
been slain.
That doesn't make him strong. That's not a strength.
Slain.
No magic resist yet. What are you doing? Like, you know how sometimes on the stream we talk about, like, you know, moving in a direction, like, so if you're standing here, you move this way, but you're gonna cast your ability this way, and bronze players can't do this. They can't conceal intent. You know what I'm talking about? There's no way for them to conceal intent. Hashinshin cannot conceal intent. So he actually shares a trait with bronze. He cannot conceal intent. And also, I find it so amazing that we can tell what's going to happen to him at least 4 to 5 seconds before it does. That's fascinating.
What? How do you do that without Leap Strike? It's almost like you have an advantage in range. Reduce Cass's movement speed to 300.
Let me at him.
Make her early game shit tier. Stop forcing her opponents to have to proactively counterpick her in every competitive game.
You don't have to counterpick her. He doesn't understand enough about matchups to even make this comment. This is a guy that has thousands and thousands of games on Jax. He probably would not even be able to accurately tell you what matchups Jax is good and bad in, or even how to properly play them. That's the sad reality.
As from being a super cheese, that
Yeah, Cobra's being super nice about it.
It's on.
do you think this game is fun for me?
Playing a game isn't about if it's fun for your opponent. Look, this is why I'm a Soraka, Soraka Ivern enthusiast. Okay? Sometimes people get off on not letting the other person have fun. If you're in my Twitch chat right now and you play Soraka, you play Tom Kench, you play Ivern, I mean, more power to you, man. That's what some people get off to. It's removing the fun from their opponents. Game's not supposed to be fun for you. Oh, man.
Bring it on.
That you can literally just AFK next to me with your mouse cursor over me, just hitting E repeatedly, and win.
Ready for battle.
What does Mercs do? What does any item do?
What is that?
What does Mercs do? What does any item do?
What is that? Where is his brain? Like, I need to watch this in slow-mo. Where is he? It's like a Windows 98 loading thing. Where does he go?
What does Mercs do? What does any item
He issues.
do?
What? Where does he go?
Perks do. What does any item
What is that? What is this? Why is your cursor here?
do?
Hello?
It's on.
But this happens like way too much.
But it's okay. You also get boots for free. Allowing for free. What does mercs do? What does any item do?
It's on.
What does any item do?
No, it's not to
does
get
Mercs
off
do? What does
my
it mean?
asthma at this point. Do you see these? Do you see these minions? Do you see these reinforcement minions? The lane is over. Like at this point, it's over. He doesn't have the HP. So coming this way to get off my asthma and then jumping backwards does nothing. Because he should just go backwards and jump to these minions and get out of the lane. It's over. No, I don't care about your silver and gold level view of the game and not understanding that Jax can't do anything anymore. The lane is pushing into Cassio. This is out of his control. He's done with the lane. If he continues to stay in this lane without jungler assistance or something, it doesn't matter that Lee Sin's right here. It's over. Even if Lee Sin is here, it doesn't change the fact that the lane shoves into Cass.
It's on.
But it's okay. You also get boots for free. Allowing you to rush Rylai's.
She doesn't rush Rylai. She gets a Tear of the Goddess first. Like, what is going on? I love this. I love how his build never changes.
I can't do anything, man. Please, God, get fired. So your champion can get the nerfs it deserves.
Has been slain.
I've wanted to say this to this dude for a long time.
Please, I actually hope his account gets hit right, like Rain Man. Like, typing, because he does this all the time, right? He always types in chat. He always, you know, he's going into all chat against a rioter right now. He's completely ridiculous with the things that he's saying. Like, I don't even know what to say about this, because the problem is if he paused the VOD and re-watched it, I don't know if he can even break down the things that we're talking about. No, what Dakar's saying is accurate in chat right now. Cass is really good into Jax. We already established that. That's why Jax should be underneath turret farming and then trying to wait for a jungler gank. Like, I don't know what to say about this. There's another 13 minutes of this?
It's not toxic. The live design team is ruining the game. We all know it. We all know it. We all know the live design team is fucking over the game. Oh no, right, he's not live design, he's a playtester. No, he's live design when they need examples of high ELO players who aren't in silver, but then he's not.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even bring this up. Doran shield start instead of corrupting start in this matchup. So one of the things that I talked about with his runes and masteries was he went 9 times scaling magic resist. So he went MR per level, and then he went 9 times armor per level. And the armor per level is an error. This should be HP per level. It should be 9 times HP. And then you can get away with scaling MR magic resist. I feel like you're more likely to probably get away with it on blue side than on red side. It's sort of okay. I would have liked to have seen a 6-3 or even a 3-6. Like, I would have liked to have seen 6-3 or 3-6. I probably would just go with 6-3 if you think that you're a better player. You know, so that you just reduce the chances of anything, you know, going wrong or whatever. And then he should have had 9 scaling HP. And then the other thing is that he should have Feast, not Fresh Blood. He took Fresh Blood. You're never going to be auto-attacking her. You're going to, even in a 2-on-2 scenario, you're maybe going to get Fresh Blood off twice. Maybe. And that's being optimistic. Okay? Should have Feast, should be underneath the turret, should be farming, should go Hex Drinker first item, should go Mercury Tread second item. More incentive to go Mercury Tread second item, not just because the Cassiopeia, but also because they have a Twisted Fate on the team, they have a Braum. There's lots of reasoning for these type of itemizations, and he doesn't do it, because he doesn't actually want to play League of Legends. If, like, League could be a single-player game and Hashinshin could play it, he probably would.
Fine, whenever you can play them, right? What a fucking joke this company is.
Hashinshin is like the Avillo of League of Legends. They're actually identical. Oh yeah, he should have had 1 point in Spellbound Vampirism. The point that I really like that Dakar brought up in chat, though, is the Doran shield. I didn't bring that up. Oh god, another 12 minutes.
Oh, shocker. Another ADC player. I wonder if ADCs are strong right now.
It's on.
Okay. No, what you could do is you could have gotten that CS, taken some damage, used your Corrupting Pot to heal back up again, and then pray that Cass takes the turret. In fact, you could actually let Cassiopeia take the turret so that you're able to farm over here. Now, this is basically something that I've talked about before, you know, and I've been criticized by, you know, Reddit analysts and whatever by suggesting that someone let a tower die so that it's more advantageous to them. Escaping the lane and then restricting or condensing the size of your team's map is going to be more advantageous for you against the enemy team composition. But not just against the team comp, but it's going to be favorable for you in order to farm against the Cassiopeia.
Bring it on.
Shocker. Whenever you guys need examples of live design not in silver, you're in live design. When the game is shit and people complain...
An ally has been slain.
Maybe if he was with Zed
Not
right now,
live design.
maybe Cass would die. But, you know, a little bit busy typing. This should be bannable. Like, if Rain Man can be banned, I don't know why he can't be banned, because he does this, like, on his stream all the time. Now, by the way, I should just state that I've talked about this on my stream before, okay? That, you know, there's like subhumans that exist in the game by my definition, right? Like, there's the people that they intentionally int, they grief, they waste, you know, 20, 30, 40 minutes of your time. They deny surrender vote at 15 minutes, so it forces it to go to 20. And then they pray that, you know, someone else votes no at 20 minutes, and they keep voting no, and they just keep running around, and they force the enemy team to kill the Nexus, and if the enemy team doesn't kill the Nexus, they keep griefing you. You know, they force you to dodge and champ select, they do all that stuff. There's the ones that just write paragraphs and stuff and whatever. And then there's people like Hashinshin, right? And, like, it's almost like they're not... I mean, they're human... They're an NPC, almost. Like, it's so frustrating. People like this... I don't get why, like, God, it almost kind of makes you miss Riot Light, you know? I don't even know.
It's like a complete defense against any reason.
Who's next?
He's literally an NPC. Like, Hashinshin's the same, like, did anyone ever play WoW in, like, 2004 or 2005? Maybe the same NPCs, like, exist and they still do the same exact thing in, like, Stormwind, right? If you go to Stormwind now in 2017, one of those NPCs, they might still be there doing the same thing. That is literally Hashinshin. If Twitch TV, still called Twitch TV in 10 years or something, and League still exists, you will literally go to his stream and it will be the same, it'll be the same thing, like an NPC. Fresh bread for sale. Got your fresh bread here, and she like walks around. Oh man.
Dude, I fucking hate live design. I've said this. You guys know I believe this. I think live design are a bunch of fucking jokes who got promoted well beyond their means when the previous developers left the game.
Ready for battle.
Your turret has been destroyed.
They fuck up the game, they blatantly play favorites, they constantly come up with bullshit excuses for why they're doing things. Guys, it's okay that Ari hit a 54% win rate. Until it wasn't okay. And here's why we were right the entire time.
Enemy double kill. An ally has been slain.
Does he ever look around the map? Oh, at least he
I
voted
fucking
yes.
hate that you can play Cassiopeia and spam E without even hitting Q. Just spam E on any melee champion in the game and drive them out of the lane, forcing everyone to have to pick a tank.
No, they don't have to pick a tank, dude. Like, I don't understand why you think they have to pick a tank. There is such a thing as just farming the CS because you're incapable of killing their opponent unless they're really special. Like, does he know what Kassadin is? Like, Kassadin can't get a kill until he's 6 unless the opponent's really special. I mean, in some matchups, Kassadin can actually, he can shove you out of lane. In certain matchups, yes, that's possible. But realistically, he should not be able to get a kill, you know? Literally, it makes no sense.
No, seriously, did you look at that fucking post? When we let Ari have a 54% win rate, we were right. And also when we nerfed her, we were right. It's like some fucking North Korean, like, propaganda bullshit, dude. I actually can't believe anyone takes them seriously.
I can't believe that you have viewers that defend your antics. I mean, I don't know. North Korean propaganda. Cheers to that. Hey, look, it's the first fucking thing he did correct all game. 1645, boys. Take a timestamp right up here. 1645. He's waiting for the wave.
Destroyed.
No, it legitimately...
Holy shit, he can do it.
Like North Korean bull...
Now, he shouldn't actually eat the wave right here. He should pull the wave back to here, and they should probably use brush tactics and then pull it back so that it collides with this wave, and then the reinforcing wave comes up and it eats the wave. And then Cassiopeia doesn't get farmed.
Bullshit.
At least not for a little
All
bit.
the fucking time with this company. No matter what they do, they were right to have done it. And if they were wrong to have done it, it was your fault they did it.
Oh. So is this like the end of the VOD, or does he just keep going on?
Weren't live design.
Yeah, this is also one of the things that I hate about NA, is that you clearly have a player that's just not playing, and they don't all agree to surrender. It's really unfortunate. I don't know like what kind of rose-tinted glasses someone on the team has, but...
Shut down.
Now imagine right now if Cassiopeia didn't have 5 kills and Jax just had an extra 20 or 30 CS and already had, you know, Hexdrinker on his way to Trinity Force, or maybe even Maw of Malmortius.
How can I take a video game so seriously? How can I get mad over a video game? It's very simple actually, because these people are fucking idiots.
You have been slain.
Who they're the ones who.
If only that was actually like a fire.
Struggle. We don't know, man. Is nerfing Cassiopeia the right thing? Yes! Nerf her! It's a fucking video game! Lord knows you're gonna fuck up worlds anyway, so what does it matter?
I don't know. So like an opinion that I have that probably isn't shared by many is I would rather have people that are quote unquote toxic in a way, you know, that they rage and stuff, but they still play, they still try. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing if he would get angry and stuff in game, but he's still actually trying his best. He's still you know, objectively trying to make good plays and not trying to play the game in like a single player way, etc. I think that's a very different type of player, and I mind them infinitely less than a player like this. Like, I would rather Hashinshin just be super toxic, berating his teammates and stuff, but he's still actually trying to win the game, and he's trying to do stuff that he believes is correct. It's not okay if it's like super excessive, but I don't think that a player that occasionally, I mean, this is, again, probably not an opinion that's shared by many. I don't think a player that occasionally flames or something because they care a lot about the game, they have a lot invested in the game, is worse than someone like this. This guy is like literally trapped inside of Ysera's dream. I don't know. He's thinking back to season 1 and 2 when everyone was bad. And so, I mean, now if you need to know just how bad were people in those seasons. Saint Vicious was considered a top jungler in the world. Okay? So, I mean, now we're in season 7, we're going into season 8. He's not able to just brute force wins because there's so much educational content on the web. You know, there's so many streamers. Everyone's streaming now. You can watch challengers play. You can see what they do. You know, you can reverse engineer certain lanes. You can look at, you know, what's the best way to play this lane? How should I itemize here? What are the right runes and masteries? So when other people start thinking and then they catch up to him because he's not improving and he's not pushing his mechanics, and this is another thing, is I oftentimes hear people claim that Hashinshin has good mechanics, but he just doesn't know how to play the game. No, he doesn't. Does not have good mechanics. You wouldn't say that, you know, a champion that cannot possibly lose a trade jumping on another champion and then winning that trade is somehow a testament to good mechanics. It's not. He does not have good mechanics. This is evident by anyone with an eye that watches him play, watches his mouse movement, watches how far, you know, back or forward his champion goes that's unnecessary or poor in choice. It's not good mechanics. Watching him dodge skill shots and stuff. No, there is nothing to advocate that this player has good mechanics. He doesn't.
So the entire game is fucked beyond repair. That's basically my only response to that statement. If Syndra is now a sustained damage mage, the game is fucked beyond repair.
Syndra sustained burst. Sustained burst. I wouldn't say that she... I would say she's a fusion of both. I would say that she is...
Syndra is a sustained damage
Yeah.
mage. Cassiopeia
She's somewhere in
is
between.
Bruiser's top lane.
Cassiopeia is also in between.
Any tank.
They definitely fall into the sustained category.
To shut down split pushing.
Syndra can be considered sustained, yes.
Team fights are
I would agree that she can.
5 death balls.
I think it depends on the matchup and depends on how the matchup can play the lane.
Are we actually fighting this? Why? We got the Rider who lets his favorite champion be broken against us. A champion is not even fun to play, so nobody wants to play her.
No, it's not that it's someone better than him, so he's making excuses. You can actually tilt and rage and make comments that are still accurate or factual. Well, yeah, they're still factual, and they just sound really salty. That is entirely possible. But then when you say stuff like, oh, you know, Cassiopeia walked up behind me and did, you know, what could I do? He walked into her. He put her behind him. You know what I mean? Like, when you can rewind and just prove that someone is not saying something accurate, they begin to just increasingly lose credibility. Okay, now what happens? We go into post-game lobby.
Then ban dumb shit. I don't know.
Tiamat, Trinity Force.
Babysitting possible.
No one's going to babysit. There's no babysitting. Of course there is. That's how you win the lane. If you can even win. You're not supposed to win the lane. Alright, I'm not gonna watch anymore. Yes, I do know that he only dealt 752 damage in this game. So